far as momentum that like she in and of herself being Kamala has created, I can't really speak to that. I know that there seems to be the appearance of that. I think that the purpose of these campaigns is to manufacture just that. But sure, I imagine some of it's real. I mean, it's kind of their job to do these things. But one thing, regardless of whether or not she's creating a real sustainable momentum, is she absolutely is, I think, a reason that turnout will go up for Democrats. So I don't know, like, I don't even know how much momentum matters anyways. As long as she can get people to turn out, like the nation's so partisan that there's only a handful of people that are going to move in either direction, plus scatterings of people that may have changed their mind for one reason or another. Like, it's not a huge population. So I wouldn't expect Democrats or people that are hardcore and don't really ever vote in any other way. I wouldn't expect them to go vote for Trump, but I did think that there was a reasonable concern that they just may not bother to vote. And I think she changes that. So outside of how much it gives her an edge over Trump, I'm not so sure that the momentum matters.
No, that's absolutely correct. Anyone that supports Kamala, you're talking in chat, like, come up, come talk. Like, don't be scared.
I've almost exhausted myself, so I probably won't troll nearly as hard.
Well, you're saying they're like people who are all excited about the first black woman president, and fair enough. They're going to turn out, but won't there be a wash with people who think like this is an absurd reason to vote for somebody, especially at a time in which we seem to be facing world crises? And do we want somebody whose leadership style we know and respect, or somebody who has already been battled? Either choosing from a proven quantity, which is Trump, and you may hate him, and somebody who, at the very least, we know that she went along with policies of the previous administration and is frankly to the left of the previous administration. And is that what the nation wants and needs? Are we comfortable with that? To me, those are valid questions. In addition to, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? Did you like where we've been for the past 4 years? Did you prefer what you had before that with Trump? Or do you just want to roll the dice because of somebody's race and gender or sex? Does anybody want to address that?
Some people are saying she's not black. I say she's only quarter black. So is she really black? World standard.
Well, who gives a shit? Who cares?
I don't know about
some people do. Some people care. So her mom is Indian.
Okay. So
and her dad is light skinned from Jamaica.
No, hold on. Listen, I'm just trying to frame this in a way that makes it something more than just, I don't know, people saying things. So you're right. Some people do care. Do you think that people that do care are persuadable one way or another about Kamala based on her politics or her record or anything else? Or do you think that they're going to be kind of single issue identity only?
There is single issue identity.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing if there are or there aren't. I'm trying to ascertain how impactful you think.
I was in a black room and they're all talking.
No, hold on. Let me ask you this and then you can answer. I'm not trying to lead you anywhere or it's not gotcha. How many people do you think that there are that are going to strictly base their vote on her identity? I guess that's the best way to ask it. What percentage of the vote? Actually, you know what percentage of the vote that is something beyond turnout, right?
Yeah. I have no idea. I do know a lot of people that are saying these things probably wouldn't vote anyway. They probably just wouldn't. That's the biggest issue. If people actually went out to vote, everyone voted in New York, Trump would win. So Trump will win New York if everyone actually went to vote, because people you go to the Bronx right now, just ask 20 people, Trump or Kamala. Kamala, and most people say Trump, but that's not the people that actually vote. It'll be heavily like 62-70% Kamala, right? So that I guess that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't
Trump
ignore
is pretty unpopular
the
in New York.
politics.
No, he's not. Bruh. Go to the hood. He's popular in the hood.
Come on,
he's
Mike.
Not this unpopular as you.
Trump was our first black president.
I thought if everyone went to vote, if everybody actually went to vote in New York, Trump will win. People just don't vote.
It's just a stupid statement. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's fucking not.
It's completely unknowable and retarded.
All right, go.
And if the people who vote there now, hang on, and if New York was responsible for picking the next president,
I used to live in New
York,
York,
actually
so.
vote, he would
hold
lose,
on,
right?
Can we get some
No, let's ask that question.
Hold on,
So
Mike. I'm
if
trying to clear. Hold on, Mike. I was trying to clear the stage for you.
Sure.
When you hear people talking, as much as it feels good to like blurt something out.
I'm just saying, if he's going to make that statement, then let's address the actual truth, which is if New York actual voters were responsible for electing the next president, he would lose. So for him to say the opposite, as if everybody was going to vote because his neighbors in the Bronx, and most of them don't like her, I just don't get what he's talking about.
Nah. I'm just saying they will vote for Trump. Like most people, they fuck with Trump. They're just not gonna go vote.
Yeah, I know you're gonna double down on what you said. I stand by what I just told you.
I don't know. I think his point is interesting.
I mean, you're right too, though. You are right.
Hold on, Ken. I want to make sure, like, what I heard your point to be. I think that they're just hearing the last half of it, and I can appreciate why they're pushing back, right? But I think what your point was I think you were saying it about both candidates. They were like you were saying that the identity only kind of people that we hear from that are like really loud online on social media, etc. Like these people probably aren't actually going to go vote, so maybe it's not as important as a lot of people think it is. And I think you were saying the same thing, or you were making a comparison on the other side to that. Is that not? Is that accurate?
Oh, say that again because you cut out.
Oh, I'm sorry. That you were making a point about the identity politics game and how it's loud on social media, online, whatever, and you kind of, I don't want to say conceded, but at the end of it, you were like, yeah, but a lot of these people probably aren't even going to vote. So you were saying you don't know how important they are. And then you made an example of it on the Trump side.
No, I think more of them will actually vote than the people that like Trump, but just not going to like. They're not really. People are not really political. I'm just saying. It goes to like not fuck with
Wait,
Trump.
but then how does that matter? Are you?
And those people won't. But the people that you're talking about, the ones that are in identity politics, they'll actually go and vote because various reasons. Like if you're looking at chat, the ones that don't want to come up and talk.
Never mind. I'm glad I clarified. Gotcha. I misunderstood what you were saying too. Then, but I mean, I see why people are pushing back on you. Do you actually think that like everyone in the Bronx
is like Trump? He lives in Canada. I'm originally from Canada. Live in New York. I live in Miami. Used to live in New York.
You should apologize.
I have a Canadian accent, obviously, but I grew up in Miami and I live in Miami.
Kelly, you know why I came up. And hold on, let me put on my New York hat because I'm from the Bronx and I still live in the Bronx, so we're gonna straighten this whole thing out.
Let's go.
I know no one in the Bronx that would vote for Trump.
Are you dumb?
No
Hold on, Royal. You just said you're from the Bronx. Can you prove you even know anyone in the Bronx anymore, Royal? He knows every person in the Bronx.
No.
If he knows everybody and you don't know anybody.
No. Kelly, I live in the Bronx.
I'm joking.
Where?
It don't matter where. Don't ask me where I live. What's wrong with you, bro? Don't do that.
I mean, don't
stay in my block. What's wrong with you?
Cool, whatever.
Scott, man.
Bro, you know people fuck with Trump in the hood. Like, don't right now.
Actually,
you know that.
Actually, I don't.
All right.
Like we talk about this all the time. No, I don't.
Yes.
I mean, he had a rally. It was pretty big, right?
Right, Penn. Even if your statement was incorrect, the fact that he came up and said, I'm from the Bronx, and no one in the Bronx will vote for Trump is
It's cap.
more
That's
of a wrong
not
statement.
true.
Cap,
It's
though.
cap.
It's
That
cap.
is a
Not
false
true.
statement.
Okay, hold on.
That is a false statement
What he
made
said
by
is
Roy.
not true. All right, goddammit. You guys have to stop talking over each other. It's really annoying. Listen, we're going to let Redman finish making his point, and then Holistic.
I don't know if y'all heard. I was saying when 10 said if everyone in New York who doesn't vote went out and voted everyone, Trump would win. It may or may not be true. Let's say we'll go with people in the audience and the chat were saying that it's not true. Fine. But when Royal came up and made the claim that I'm from the Bronx and no one in the Bronx will vote for Trump,
No,
that's
not
more
what
of
I
a
said.
false claim than what 10 said. That's more of a BS.
That's literally not what I said.
Yes, you did. You
Okay,
said hold on. Kelly, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hold on just a sec, Red. Well, I think that, listen, I do think he may have used those words because I think he was responding to the nature of 10's statement, which is that everybody in the Bronx would vote for Trump. And so I
never said everybody. I said he would probably win if everyone
I'm pretty
voted.
sure, being hyperbolic, you did.
I said he would win if everyone voted.
Okay, maybe so. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't think that either of them were trying to say that, like, there would be a sweep, right? I think that they were conversing about, like, the impact or how many of these people are as their critical mass. So I was kind of fucking with him when I said you don't know anybody and he knows every single person in the Bronx. Maybe that's also what you're attributing to this, but let's roll with the loose interpretations of what people are saying, because it's just that interesting to argue over this kind of thing. But go ahead and finish what you're saying, and then we're gonna let Royal respond, and then we're gonna let him stick it in there.
Because I could tell you exactly what I said and what I was responding to. He said, you telling me you don't know anyone in the hood that would vote for Trump? And I said, I know no one in the hood that would vote for Trump. That's what I was saying.
You're really not from the hood.
That's also a lie.
Oh, really?
I don't know what block.
That's also a lie.
Don't ask me what block I'm from, dude. You don't want to know.
Yeah, go ask the youngins. They all fuck with Trump.
Okay, Holistic. Jump.
Thank you. So I heard him say that he lived in the Bronx. My current residence is New York. I've been living in New York over 20 years. I'm not in New York now. I left a few months ago. I left the country because of the immigrants. So I just posted a video in the chat. Those are Black people, brown people voting for Trump. I don't know what you're talking about with the Bronx, but as someone who's lived in New York for a long time, I have heard myself from several people from the Bronx, from Brooklyn, from the city, that they are tired of the immigrants. They are tired of Eric, I always forget that man's name, asking us to pay our tax dollars to take care of them when they can't take care of poor people who have lived in New York forever. There's New York citizens who live on the streets, but they put the immigrants in hotels, and nice hotels too. It's not rundown motels. People who have come to New York to visit and booked nice hotels had to get a refund because the immigrants are running through the hotels like animals, and I don't care who doesn't like it. I said it. They bring very, very violent people to New York, and just tell the people in New York, well, your rent's going to go up, your food's going to go up, everything's going to go up. And, too bad, because we want to make sure that we have immigrants here to vote Democrat, because you Blacks don't want to vote Democrat anymore. So I don't live in the hood. I live in Midtown Manhattan, but either way, well, I'm not there now. I'm traveling the world for a while because, like I said, it just got too dangerous in New York. But either way, I have witnessed this myself as recent as April when I left. And this is just July. This was just April. People are tired of what's going on in New York. People in the hood and otherwise are tired, and they want Trump back. People notice that they have more money under Trump. They don't appreciate what Kamala and Biden are doing, and they want Trump back in office. So, Royal, I don't know where you've been, but I actually lived it.
Yeah, I grew up and I was born and raised there, so I don't know what you're talking about. And at the same time, here's the irony. The irony is if you want to fix the problem, what you don't do is vote Trump. Why? Because Republicans and Trump are the damn problem. They're the ones who's sending people who are crossing the borders to New York by busing them over. Okay? And since they're the ones busing them over, that's
New York, no.
No,
The
no, no,
liberals
no, it's
told
true.
them to come.
He's right. He's right. He's right.
The liberals,
Hold
no, but
on.
they bust them to
I'm
New
still
York because
talking.
they.
Hold on, holistic. Here's the thing. You're gonna get to reply, but you gotta wait until he's finished. That's why I kept jumping in. Yeah, thank you.
So, yes, they are the ones busing the people over. And since they are the ones busing the people over, it really has nothing to do with the president of the United States, because the president of the United States are not the ones busing the people to the city.
But they're
It's
responsible
the-
for
it's
the
the-
country, though.
Okay, listen, hold on just a sec. You guys, I don't want to move people down because I don't think people are trying to be disrespectful. But we got to focus on letting people make their points. It's not a conversation.
Bet.
Yeah, so it's actually a Republican governors who are the ones busing the people to New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. So there's that part, right? Number two, Trump was the person that stopped the Republicans from completing the bill that the Republicans negotiated with Joe Biden to fix the border problem. They did that. Okay, so as soon as Trump gets in, now suddenly it gets fixed. No, Biden already created the bill that he negotiated with the Republicans. Why didn't they sign it? Oh, because they was listening to Donald Trump. So basically, he's the problem. So you explain that part first and tell me why I should vote for a person who is being divisive.
Well, first off, you're wrong on that assumption that it's just governors. Biden
Hold on,
is,
Brad. Give them a chance to respond to then.
All right, thank you.
Can I respond?
Oh no, they can go because I'm not going to argue with him. I said what I said. I said what I said. So go ahead. Whoever wants to.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold on.
Wait, no, hold on.
So-
No. Listen. So just once, let 10 respond because Royal's having this conversation with 10, Red Rum, and Holistic because of the connection with the Bronx and the claims that were made. So let them have right of response to this point that he's at.
Doesn't matter. Look how many immigrants came during the Biden administration, right? All the governors are like, hey, here's a taste of your own fucking medicine. You guys want all these people here? How about you have them? I think that's valid. I think it's valid that they sent everyone to Chicago, New York, and etc. so people can understand what's actually happening in Florida, what's happening in Texas, and etc. It's actually completely fault of way too many people. And honestly, Trump was always right about building a wall. Building a wall was a valid thing he should have did, that we should have done. A lot of people come from the border. Yeah, people people can fly. Yeah, they can. Not always. Most people don't fucking fly, right? Biden let all these people in, and you can blame the governors, but really, it is what it is.
So, wait, I'm going to respond.
This very ABC.
Stop.
Royal. Let Brad jump in, and then you can reply to both of them because it's probably just keep it fairly brief. Brad.
Yeah, I will.
Otherwise, it's going to take forever to get.
So again, we're aware because it was disclosed through FOIA requests and the lawsuits from CPB that the Biden administration in the last in 2023 actually shipped out 320,000 via air. This was under the Border Patrol program, which is ran by, the Biden administration, while Kamala as the borders are. This administration sent them up to create a softer approach in the border itself. So they were actually picking up immigrants and dropping them into certain areas of our country, most notably California, where they lost the seat, and certain other places around the country where they wanted to shore up seats because there was a little bit more to the migration pattern. We are aware that the Biden administration under CPB, multiple times since his office, since he took office and rescinded those, has also shipped immigrants to other places. We see them in Minneapolis. We see them in Minnesota, Wisconsin, all over the place. They're not being sent by the governors. Now, the fact that Abbott sent 100 up or whatever it is, they're sending buses up, they're not even reaching the numbers of the immigrants that are actually being deported and driven up through Texas by Border Patrol themselves and through this administration. So whoever was saying that it's only the Republican governors is either a DNC shill or just full of shit or hasn't read what the crisis is at the border.
Okay, Royal, it's all you.
Okay, yeah, you can send me the documents. So, Brad, so at the end of the day, as I was saying, I was responding to 10 on something. I forgot what it was. 10, just, you're kind of having ABC responses. That's all I can say, bro. I mean, you got to step it up.
Doesn't matter. It's accurate.
No, actually, it's not accurate.
I'm saying it is accurate.
No, actually, it isn't. That's the problem.
So refute what I said.
Information.
Refute what I said.
Bro, I don't even remember what you said.
So hold on. So Royal,
I will look into what Brad said. Because go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just going to say basically what Ten said was that he thinks that these governors are doing what he wishes his governor would do, and so his response is one that you can't really deny because it's like it's his perception and you know how he feels about what's going on. So, and I think that this is largely true for a lot of people, but I was just reminding you of the gist of what.
I'm saying there's too many people coming to Florida, Texas, and they shit them out. To New York and Chicago.
Well, let him reply to Brad. And that's why I wanted to give him the quick reminder in case that triggered the thing he was trying to say to you. But otherwise, I don't want to interrupt him. He's got to go with.
Oh yeah, no. I was saying with Brad, just provide the documentation so I can read exactly what you're talking about because I don't know fully all of this that you just said, so I need to read it.
I mean, I think I am wants to jump in, but I just want to listen. I don't think it means that Royal is wrong to disagree with 10 here, but I think it's kind of flipped too. And this is something that I do think a lot of people on the left have to contend with, whether it's the economy or immigration or a lot of things. Like we can look at policies or how we think policies were interrupted, and I mean I think it's totally fine to acknowledge Trump's meddling in that, but at the end of the day, those representatives, hopefully, like they should be held accountable if they voted because Trump told them to vote some kind of way. I think there's a case to be made on either side of that, but also,
yeah,
I think a lot of people don't even care that happened because they feel like
sending you.
Biden's response out of the gate to immigration was just to reject everything that had Trump's fingerprints on it, and so I don't know that bill not being passed really does anything for people perceiving that Biden's priority when it comes to immigration is to make sure that Trump didn't get his way. And right or wrong, that's how a lot of people are processing this. I see that, Royal, you're not, but I don't know that anyone's mind is going to be changed when it comes to these things because it's a matter of perception. It's a matter of what they prioritize. And I think part of what Ten said was, he's not going to hold people accountable, even if governors were responsible for 99%.
Hello.
Hey, Sophia, it's John. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm sorry, I was dealing with some ants in my kitchen.
Oh no. Invasion. Are you good?
Yeah, I dropped a little piece of cheese, and holy cow, I got to go back there. I mean, I'm sure there's more ants coming for that little tiny piece of cheese.
Doesn't dish soap, I think Dawn dish soap is something it costs. Oh shit, can I call you back? My dad's calling me. I'll call you
sure.
right back.
Okay.
Policies.
Yeah, just sending you positive thoughts, vibrations. Hope love, peace of mind.
Then you don't need to ask what happened to the last 3 years because it wasn't like he was sitting on his hands. No, he was passing bills. Go look that.
No, he wasn't. He was gaslighting the public, saying there's no fucking border issue. What are you talking about? The Dems were fucking gaslighting the public, saying there weren't any issues. It wasn't as bad. Not what are you talking about?
Well, then let's let I am get in here. Don't lose that thought, Ten.
Thank you, Kelly. How's everybody doing? Much love and respect to everybody on stage, even if we don't stand on the same side. I just wanted to ask a question because Nick Abbott down in Texas was trying to do everything he could. Well, first of all, I'm old to remember that when Trump talked about Bill racist, they were calling him a white nationalist and stuff like that, right? And then when they started coming over and Greg Abbott like put the razor wire up and stuff down there, it was Joe Biden that told him to take that stuff down, right? And even when Texas and those governors down there were saying, hey, we don't want these immigrants in here, you had, and I'm in Pennsylvania, you had people up here in New York, in Chicago, these governors saying, no, we're sanctuary cities. They should be allowed to come here. So my question would be, what the hell did you expect those other governors to do? If I'm saying I don't want nobody, if I'm saying I don't want nobody coming in my house, and you my neighbor, and you saying, yeah, we should let everybody come in, and they start coming in my house, shouldn't I tell them to come? No, not here. Go to their house. They said you there.
Yep, valid.
And the last thing I'll say.
Oh, go ahead. I'll wait.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. The last thing I'll say, right, is we know that the Republican Party are pushovers and they're soft, right? You can see it happening right now with the way that they're campaigning against Kamala, and then you have the media coming out saying, oh, well, why are you saying this? Oh, why did you call her a ding-dong? And you actually have Republicans apologizing for saying something about Kamala, even though Democrats have been calling Trump everything except the child of God since 2016, right? So we see that the Republican Party is easily bullied in this stuff, but when they talk about, oh, Trump had them kill that border bill, well, it was 6 Democrats that voted to filibuster that too. Why nobody never talks about them 6 Democrats? Because I believe if they would have voted for the bill, that bill would have passed.
I feel like a lot of liberals, and this is why I say that liberals are delusional and annoying, and it's no shade, but it's just true. If you want to say, oh no, we have plenty of room, we have plenty of resources for the immigrants, and then they cross the border and come into a state where people have said they're not welcome here. What I agree. I said it so many times, and the liberals say, "Oh, they put them on buses and drop them off at Kamala's house." That's so mean-spirited. What's mean-spirited about you asked for them? Here they are. We don't want them. I don't understand what world liberals live in, that you think that you can force other people to be inconvenienced by decisions that you made. You made the decision to let them in. So you take them. I live in New York, and I 100% agree with what Texas did. I would have done it too. Then you ask for them, here's your immigrants. I don't know what liberals think. It's like you want to decide to be this, bleeding heart, and we are the world, and you want to force everybody else to be that too, and to be inconvenienced. No, that's not how the world works.
Well, you can add to that. One other thing is they were criticized for flying those people to those places. The real Trump card was played when they sent him out to, Nantucket? And that's a sanctuary city. But within hours, they had a line of lawyers there helping them explain, hey, if you didn't want to come here, all you got to do is tell us that, and we can help sue. And, they had a whole thing set up of anybody running the state, and played it off as the Republicans were the bad ones, when yet they were doing the same exact thing except for flying them in.
I'm going to say this too and I'm a Black woman, as y'all can see. I'm 100% all the way a Black woman. And I don't like the way that the Democrats, or Kamala specifically, is trying to pander to Black people with the whole I'm a Black woman thing when she was just Indian American recently. She's doing that because, that way Black people will overlook everything that she did with the border. And they'll overlook all of the things that she did because, she's one of us. She put on Chuck Taylors and she went to a Black school as if non-Black people don't go to Black schools. And she ate a pork chop sandwich. So she's one of us. Forget about the fact that they're bringing in the immigrants to vote Democrat because they don't have enough voters. Let's just make sure we go and vote for her because she got a blowout and she's sister girl with the pork chop sandwich. It's insulting as hell.
How does it feel that, like, I take it, I don't let things offend me, but it just seems just to be wrong. I and both sides do it, and they pander, and it's, for the black vote, for the brown vote, and then, you have to think this way because Biden, if you don't vote for me, you're not. So what we're saying is that you, as the man running for president, as a white guy who eulogized a former Grand Dragon, is saying that if you're not thinking right, in the way I want you to think, you're really not black. I mean, to me, that whole concept is just appalling, I would think. And I want to know what your guys' take is, because it's easy for me to just sit there and say this from an outsider's perspective, but it'd be no different. I mean, I'm second generation born here, but it'd be like all of a sudden somebody saying, because I have Irish and German and you're automatically Hitler because you came from Germany, and I'd be like, get out of here, but how does that feel when you hear them lumping, whether it be the black vote or, if you don't vote this way, you're not black. I mean, what's that like? What was your thoughts when you heard?
Well, Joe Biden went on a black radio station, The Breakfast Club, and sat down with Charlemagne, who's a black man, and said, if you don't vote for Joe, you ain't black. And what's really sad is black people were not, I was insulted. And he damn sure wasn't, he wasn't going to vote for me anyway. But I don't know, I think black people thought, and I don't care who don't like it, because this is a black woman saying it, okay? And I grew up around nothing but black people. So have your feelings hurt, I don't care. I think that those ignorant liberal blacks thought, Master Joe said, if we don't vote for him, we's ain't gonna be black no more. They thought they was gonna wake up and be Mexicans and ship to Mexico, I guess. So we better hop down to the border, because if we don't, they gonna kick us out of America. Like, it was weird to watch him be able to say that. And then they talk about how they think Trump is racist. I don't understand that, but I'm 40 years old. Before Trump ran for president, Trump was a part of black culture. These little young 20-year-old liberals don't know what they're talking about. Trump is not pandering to black people. I've watched him be in black people's rap videos and everything long before running for president. I watched it myself. His name is mentioned in so many rap songs. So I don't understand why it is that they think that he's the racist one when Biden said something like that. And also, as far as Kamala's ass goes, I'm insulted by that, because when we finally do, if America ever does get a black woman who is president or vice president, now she has to be second, because that bitch wanted to pander. All of it is just insulting, but black people are as a collective, because it's not every last one of us, but as a collective, black people are very emotional people, and black people love to accept everybody into the culture. Everybody gets an invite to the cookout. You can be black, or you have 0.59% African in you. Okay, well, you one of us. Come on over. It's weird. They don't gatekeep at all. And I think black people need to do more gatekeeping, but they won't. They want to, let everybody in. And, as long as you dance with us and play our music and eat pork chops, then you're one of us. It's very strange to watch.
Yeah, I think for me, it was highly disrespectful. It's disrespectful to me when anybody does that, let alone some old white dude that has a history of racism. I don't like when black people try to say it's some type of code that we're supposed to stand on. I'm an individual. I have my own individual needs and my own individual wants. I have my own family to take care of, and I have my thoughts, and my decisions are my own. So to hear somebody say that again, especially an old white dude with a history of racism, and the whole time to hear them not only say stuff like that, but then to paint the other guy as being a racist, it's like when people say you playing in my face, like you're just playing with my intelligence, and I can't get behind that at all.
And the other thing that bothered me is like,
hold on. What does Royal feel about that though? That's specific. Then what does Royal? Because he's actually the liberal.
He's one of them. He thought he was going to wake up Mexican. That's why he's quiet. NASA going to kick us out the country if we don't vote. Weird.
And you know what bothered me though is like you go back to Hillary. She's in front of a larger black audience. Alinsky, you know, prodigy, and you know, and they go and they pander, they change their accents, they change the way they speak. And me, I don't care if it was a Republican. If you came in front of me and you started changing who you were, that tells me you don't like who you are. So if you don't like who you are and you have to fake it, first of all, we know that
people code switch though. People code switch all the time. Depends who they're around.
You don't see Trump going out there throwing a Southern slang when he goes to Georgia or Louisiana, or you know.
That's true. That's true.
He's Trump.
Trump is Trump. Yeah.
In that manner, he still says some dumb things, and I'm just like, dude, I know what you mean, but you know, like just recently it was like, you won't have to vote again. What he meant was, Christians, every one of you get out. You know, if you're going to do it this time, and you won't have to do it again because we'll fix it so good. What we instantly, the very second it happened, I rolled my eyes and went like, why do you have to give them sound bites? And that's the one thing he's got to change. But what I would love more than anything is somebody to literally, and Trump should have done this. He should have came out. He had access. He's the only president who sat and took questions every opportunity he could. If he walked by a mic, he took questions. And all he needed to do is every time that the politics got involved, I would have called it out. I'm looking to try to do this. We want to pass this. This is who's voting against it. And he should have done that. And both sides need to start doing that because, again, like she brought up the border thing. There were Democrats that voted against it. And there's reasons. If you look at that, there's reasons. But the simple fact that every single person that can champion what's going on with the sudden drop in border crossings has to answer this question. If you did it unilaterally 6-7 months before an election, Joe, why did you wait till then? If you did it now, you could have done it then without anybody else's help, and you didn't, and everybody knows why. But those are the questions we have to start asking politicians, and we kind of let it go. And somebody in the chat said something about holistic, you know, you should be ashamed or whatever. And I'm like, that's the problem. If we're not aware of what ideological subversion is, you need to look into it. There's a guy, his name is Yuri Bezmenov, Bezmenov. He's a defector. That was a Russian propaganda thing was being carried out back in the 60s in the United States, as they knew they couldn't beat us in war, so they beat us with psychological warfare. Well, guess what? Our own government does it. He even talks about it, that they know that the CIA has been doing it since the 60s. They have a budget for movies, for Hollywood. They push things. And if we don't pay attention to what's being pushed in the media, pay attention to all the buzzwords on all platforms, all media stations, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, ABC. It's the same buzzwords routinely. That's where the ideological subversion is. What they did was they purposely pushed false information to a group of people. And I don't remember how many years later, he explains it. They went to them, they showed them, hey, we were lying to you. And they didn't care. They wouldn't believe that they were being lied to. And he goes, now we know how to do it. That's what we got to do to the U.S. And so when he came here, he was explaining this, hoping to make a change here, because he said this is the last beacon of freedom on the planet.
Well, Yuri actually taught in Toronto. I know heavily about Yuri, and he said it takes decades, but he basically predicted everything that's happening right now. Not even predicted, he just said this is what's going to happen, and how they used basically leftist ideologies and progressive ideologies to like basically destroy what we have as a society. It's just really fucked up.
It's almost scary. Have you heard the If I Were the Devil by...
It's brainwashing. Listen, humans are tribal in general, and humans are fucking stupid in general, and they'll just follow shit. That's what's happening. Everyone's just following a thing. Even us supporting Trump too. I just prefer Trump because I see him as the lesser of two evils. That's the only situation. That's why I'm supporting him. But overall, humans are just easily manipulated.
Let me jump in really quickly. Sorry, I couldn't jump in before. I was doing something, but I've read some of the chats. I've heard what you guys have been talking about. Like, I just want to point out one thing that Lauren said, which is what triggered me to want to make the point that I'm going to make. I got to find it now. I think people dislike the entitlement to the black vote without doing anything for black people. She was saying that in response to Dawn. And listen, I think the comments that I've seen from Dawn and people that, you know, have her perspective on this, they're understandable. But I think a lot of times, even if the majority of whatever group we're talking about, in this case, the black vote, sits with Dawn's point of view and agrees with her, even if it's the majority, it doesn't mean that there's not a significant number of people that are represented by what Lauren was trying to get across there. And I don't think that this is limited to the black community. I don't even think that this is limited to an identity group. Why do you guys think Donald Trump was elected? Like, what do you think the MAGA movement is? The MAGA movement, the thing that undergirds that MAGA support is not the majority of Republicans, or definitely not right-leaning people in America, because it doesn't require that to shift politics. And I don't know, anyone that's ever heard me talk about this knows that I am not a fan of populism. I am not a fan of, I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of a lot of the things that drove Trump into a position of you know, being able to win that election either. But populism is dangerous. There's 1,000 reasons that I can complain about Donald Trump, whatever. But a fact of the matter is, when people feel like they are ignored, they will eventually do something about it. And I think people miss this because they don't recognize, they don't understand that this isn't a matter of like skin color. It becomes one, though, when people do what Lauren is pointing out, when people just pretend like because people are of some color, they should identify in a particular way or another. I appreciate why, when like there may be a rational reason for that presumption to be made, but it doesn't mean that people respond to that well. And again, case in point is the Republican Party right now and the dominance of Donald Trump on that side. And it does not require a majority of the party to see that kind of movement. And so I think just people should acknowledge that when people feel like when people feel like their existence is abused just by the nature of them being there, and that they're going to stop showing up. The floor is open. Whoever wants to jump.
Just real quick, and it takes a while for that to catch on. And you're spot on, Kelly. You know it does. But like if you look back when Clinton was running, it was clean water for Flint. Didn't happen. Clean water for Flint didn't happen. Gore ran on it. I was watching it live, and I remember someone in the crowd just busted at just screaming at him that they aren't buying their BS anymore. You know, so, you know, you got 2 terms, a third term. They're like, you lied to us, you know, and I wish more people would hold, that's what I was saying earlier. I wish more people would hold these politicians accountable, especially our congressmen and senators. We've got people in there for a life. We're talking about, you know, the president saying we need term limits for the Supreme Court. We need term limits for politicians. And there are several that are good that left after, they were going to leave after the second term and were convinced to stay for the third. But, and I wish they would have run for president, but they hate politics, and they left because of what politics is, you know. And in my opinion, he's one of the best I've ever seen, but he says he was terrible at it because he would never give up something he didn't believe in, or give in to something he didn't believe in just to get something for his state. And so he left. But that's what we need more politicians to be like. And I think if we're talking about term limits for anybody, gosh, we got to be talking about all of the politicians having those, because and I think we need to have an ability to recall an election as a state. If somebody's promising things and they're failing miserably, there needs to be an accountability. You just don't get an all in. You got voted in that one time. No matter what you do, you get to stay, you know?
I would like to say this is not to disqualify anybody, but I'm speaking to a particular people when I say this. I would like my black people who consider themselves black or people of color to start looking at yourselves as Americans. Okay? You have to be an American first, because the election that we're going for is not for the president of black people. It's not for the president of white people. It's for the president of this corporation that is America. And if we have good laws in America, they make good laws for white people. That's going to be good law. One thing I think that is entirely unfair is when that woman said, I'm not going to make laws that's just going to benefit black people, and people act like she said something wrong. She would have to be a goddamn fool to come out here and say, I'm going to make laws that's only going to make black people great in this country. That is a recipe for disaster. So as long as we start, everybody, we all start looking at ourselves as Americans, whether you Democrat or Republican or whatever, and holding these people that we are electing into power, holding them accountable to the actions that they are committing, we are all in a sad, sad fucking place.
May I say something?
Yeah, you know what? It's popcorn, so I'll just say this for the sake of anybody else in here. It's popcorn. As long as nobody's speaking, please jump in. So go right ahead.
Okay, I'm not gonna stay. I just wanted to make a point. I love the conversation. I do agree with the gentleman who just spoke that black people in every country needs to see themselves as an American. I just find that certain groups have a habit of saying that to black people when it's time to manipulate for a vote. Not you, sir. I'm just saying, like, certain political parties. The bottom line is, I feel like everyone should be voting for their best interest, for what suits them, what political party more closely speaks to their core values, and the idea of group thinking for voting is, I feel like it's archaic and it's outdated. There's no more need for group thinking and hive mentality and this wolf pack mentality when it's time to vote. I did like what Corey said earlier about, the entitlement. I believe that was Corey, or no, I think it was Kelly, about the entitlement to the black vote. And I think it's weird that we're still calling it the black vote. The ideology and putting all black people in this voter block. And so now what we're doing is saying that if you're black, you must all vote as a unit. And that's extremely un-American. That is extremely un-American. In my opinion, there's no such thing as the black vote. That's foolishness. And so what we end up with is this mob mentality where if you dare to vote against the wolf pack, you get bullied, you get canceled, you get attacked, you get maligned, which again is very un-American. Like, America was built on doing what you feel is right. It's built on your idea of right and wrong, within the law. America was built on rebellion. So how did we go from that to and majority rule to do what you're told, only think what we tell you to think, and instead of majority rule, which is what democracy is supposed to be about, the majority no longer rules the way it's supposed to.
Hello.
Hey, Sophia, it's John.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm down to meet up. I was doing. Yeah.
Cool. Where should we meet?
Let's go to Irving Park Brewery.
Irving Park Brewery. Do they have food there?
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. 30 minutes? 40 minutes?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. See you soon.
See you there.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Time for lunch. Looks like manja.
On a topic, you're all talking about your sexual parts and what you would want to do
Lisa,
to
set the
someone
topic.
instead of just focusing on the topic.
Lisa, set the topic. Go ahead.
So Norm, let me ask you another quick
No, I
Go ahead,
don't
Ali.
even know what we're talking about anymore.
Okay, because Soren wants to derail. Ali, go ahead.
Ali,
Go ahead,
actually,
Ali.
Ali brought a good question to Soren.
He did. He won't answer. But Ali, I'll answer you honestly, no matter what you ask. Go ahead, Ali.
So honestly, Soren, I did not get an answer to my question.
That's correct.
But let me
You
ask
never
you
will.
a second.
How many
Let me ask you-
push-ups
let
have
me-
you
let
done,
me ask
Ali,
you-
while you were
Let me ask
waiting
you
for
a
an
second.
answer?
Let me ask you a second question. What would Iran should do to reduce the tension and terrorist activities in the region?
That's an obvious answer, Ali. Come on.
Well, what
I'm
Iran
asking Soren.
needs to do, obviously, I get the question. What Iran needs to do is that by basically mobilizing the axis of resistance, it needs to show a gesture to
Kill the Jews!
Shut up! Don't say this shit.
To these backers of this entity, that if you want to go after something, there would be consequence. Because they, you know what? The only language that these people understand is a forced language.
So let me translate for you. He wants to kill more Jews. I'll translate. Keep going. Keep going.
Soren, who is this people?
He wants to kill.